Hello, everybody. Welcome to this Q&A session around the Domoscio acquisition by Myskillcamp. I'm Kevin Tillier, CEO and co-founder of Myskillcamp, and Benoit, maybe you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi, good morning. I'm Benoit, CEO of Domoscio, and now for really happy colleague of Kevin.
And happy to have you on board. Obviously, Benoit is our head of product. That's going to be a real blast for Myskillcamp and Domoscio products in the future. So we've prepared a few slides that would like to take you through. Obviously, the idea is also to answer all the hot burning questions you might have in case you're already using Myskillcamp or Domoscio, or if you're looking to go into adaptive learning or looking for a third-party learning platform or even content from our amazing marketplace. So I'm gonna kickstart. We have presented ourselves, but Benoit, maybe you want to say another few words about you.
Yeah, yeah. In few words, I would say that I started as a data science or computer science engineer. I've done extensive studies in mathematics and computer science. Then I went to do some research in labs. When I finished my studies, I was really into using AI for understanding how the human would learn. That's actually quite funny to do it because you are training a machine to understand how the human is actually trained and learning. So it was a really, really nice topic to me. I spent um, around a year and a half working in that lab research. And after this experience, I started Domoscio, a company I created in 2013, working in that data science for learning. And the idea is how can we use data that are generated into any LMS system, LXP system, or even a training program in order to take that data into account to personalize the learning experience. And this is, I would say, the baseline of Domoscio. And this is why we started meeting with Kevin in fairs, in events, and how we started building a common vision. And this is, I think, the baseline of where we are now and why we are presenting before you today.
Thanks, Benoit. And then for those of you who don't know a bit, my background used to be an English teacher. Wanted to shake it a little bit, the education industry, education world, by building an e-learning platform for schools. But yeah, didn't turn out really well back 8 years ago. So we had to find a way to make money, and so we pivoted to the B2B market, and yeah, that's where we stand today. Um, Thanks, Benoit. Maybe so in the agenda, we're going to be quickly introducing, who we are. Who is Myskillcamp today with the Domoscio? How does the team look like, etc. I'll quickly, as a refresher, guide you through the Myskillcamp solutions. As of today, there is a new solution that has been created by our Chief Learning Officer, Nathalie Lambrex. Then I will let Benoit present his two amazing products, and then together we'll tell you a bit more about our vision and how we count on transforming Myskillcamp into a skills delivery platform, focusing on really the why are we learning, where are we, why am I taking this journey, what's expected from me, and it starts with the skills, and then obviously answering all your questions. So who are we? So with Myskillcamp, we've built so far a learning experience platform that integrates within your HR ecosystem, within different LMSs through single sign-on and other technologies. Today, with Myskillcamp and Domoscio, we are now 84. So with offices in Paris, offices in Brussels, Belgium, and also in London. We're active in France. Yeah, I would say half of our market or revenue come from France. The rest Benelux and UK split. We have lots of partnerships. It's great to be the marketplace, but having stronger partnerships is definitely a must. So we do have about 32 different content providers in the marketplace, ranging from the biggest one to more specific niche content providers that we're really happy to work with. And then, yeah, now with Domoscio, a bit more than 130 customers, ranging from mid market to larger corporates. So really happy to also extend our positioning from the mid market to now larger corporates across the different markets we're in. Um, so maybe a bit of context, and then Benoit will let you complete. But you may have seen, yeah, a lot of things are happening today in the HR tech world. Lots of acquisitions, Cornerstone acquiring multiple LMSs, Degreed acquiring 360 Learning, acquiring Myskillcamp, acquiring Go One, acquiring. So since the beginning of this year, there has been about 10 different acquisitions in the mid market and the larger corporates. So that means, the market is having a consolidation of the different solutions. Um, the solutions on the market, there isn't really one that stands out with a real strong USP. Everyone is a bit fighting, feature against feature. And we needed to walk away from that because it's tiring, it's not fun for sales team, and we were missing something, and that's something we found it in Domoscio. And I believe Benoit is gonna have is gonna tell the same story. But we the combination of our two products really brings major added value to the market, great impact. But market is changing. We needed to make a change as well, and happy to have done it. Benoit, do you want to add something?
Yeah, and I'm really happy that you mentioned that the market is consolidating and that no actors are doing the best and fulfilling product, because it's also my opinion, and that's why we started discussing with Kevin on how we can build something together that will kind of address something that is not yet addressed in the market. I think that for the past years, discussions have been around tools, about platforms, and now that this is quite mature, clients are speaking about skills, and it has been, like, I would say, 3 to 4 years that our clients are focusing on skills. But when it comes to skills, well, the usual and platform that are not tailored to work with skills. And skills is actually the core of learning, core of training, and should be the one that will help the L&D and the trainee to understand what they are doing. And at Domoscio, we focus on skills for a long period of time. We added even AI to upskilling, but what we always presented to be Domoscio is just a component of a full ecosystem. We never presented Domoscio as an LXP. We never presented Domoscio as a company that would create content. And that kind of frustrated our clients, because if we do not have existing skills ontology, content, etc., we are not set up for growth and for industrialization. And I discussed that with Kevin, explaining to Kevin, we have some clients in common. We have some different clients as well, but they all share the same stake, which is how to upskill our task force, our workforce. And to do so, we need the AI, but we need as well the content. And together with Kevin, we have the complementary content with the AI, and this is how we are presenting today.
Mhm. Thanks, Benoit. Okay, so to move on now to refreshing memory a bit about what is it that Myskillcamp does? What's your positioning today? So you might know that we have a LMS slash LXP. We have an LMS in the back office, but it's nothing like the big LMS you can find. So it's really more focused around mid market customers. Um, and then the LXP part that is more, I would say, learner centric, with a way of curating content. Anyone can create content, ranging from free content from the web to content from the marketplace. And then the content that you integrate in the platform, you can then start building learning journeys. But the learning journeys you build, they have to be built by a human. Or we, as Myskillcamp, we can build off the shelf, but it's still human working on it. And you will see with Benoit's products, it can be automatized. We have a marketplace. I will talk about it in a few slides, but in that marketplace, we have about 32 content providers that you can buy. One simple business model that we have completely reworked on. So meaning now it's way simpler than it used to be. You select one, two, three, four, five different content providers based on the skills your workforce needs to develop, and then you can activate them in the platform. um, and then that's something new that we started not long ago, about 2 months, the learning science services. So it's great to have technology, but what we realize is that we need to play a role of an enabler. We need to enable our clients to use best the tools that we provide, the content that we provide as well. And so Natalie and her team have started building some different learning services that I'm happy to share with you. Uh, Divided into two: the learning advisories around learning strategy, so designing your learning strategy, how to measure the impact of your learning strategy, etc. And then the content piece. So it's either I would say advisory around the platform, the learning culture, your learning strategy, or around the content. You do buy content, but you want a great engagement. You want to work around how to market it best. And so she has developed with her team a few services around those topics. And I really like it. Not just me, but our clients really love it. And it's split around four different ways of working. Let me do it, help me do it. So let me do it as a customer, help me do it for me, or do it with me. And it's really that kind of flexibility that we offer today, but always around obviously our products. But it also reassures internally when you want to invest in a learning tool, you want to invest in a content marketplace, but you want to make sure that it has the greatest value and impact. So having the help of somebody is always well appreciated. In the marketplace, again, you can find most of the providers that you can find on the market. Soft skills, hard skills. We have up to 32 content providers today, more than 300,000 online courses into one single catalog. We also provide SCORM format if you want to integrate those content into your own LMS. And then we have about 18 languages represented, which means we cover a really wider scope. We have in the learning team, we today have Thomas, who is our learning partner, and he is also always looking for new content providers based on the skills needs of our customers. And last but not least, we also have started now to create off-the-shelf curated learning journeys with free and paid content. But instead of buying an entire catalog and you don't know what to do with it, you just think that 15,000 courses in a catalog will help your workforce. If you want to switch the approach from a catalog to a more learning path approach, then we have designed Yeah, from various topics, some curated courses, learning paths, sorry, with courses from here, Segos, Evolitude. And that's also a game changer because companies might not always have the budget to buy catalogs, but want to focus maybe on leadership skills, and they want a leadership program that lasts maybe 4 or 5 hours. And yeah, they want to invest in that, but they don't see a need in investing in a full catalog. That is Myskillcamp today, but you will see with Domosio's products, we're about, and we are already delivering that, but an individual learning journey that will drive more impact, short-term, mid-term, and long-term, thanks to their products. So, Benoit, let me know. I'll be the one clicking next.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Thank you, Kevin. So I think what's really key here to understand is that with Kevin technology and with Myskillcamp, you can have on a single entry point access to all providers. You can have either access to all providers or to bundle of content that are, I would say, tailored to your need. But what about your learners' needs? Do they all have to do, I would say, the full range of content that you bought? I think that they don't. What they need is actually to have a tailored experience as well, with the content that you chose. So the idea is to make learning more individual and more impactful. Being, we need to understand where they will begin their journey. You you customize where they would end. This is the expectations that you had, but where do they start? And this is understanding this starting point that will help us tailoring, individualizing their learning journey. So at Domoscio, what we are doing it with several clients already. If you can slide next.
Yeah.
We have large companies that we are working with, but also corporate training companies. So basically, we will range from automotive industry to energy industry, bank industry, and we also have some smaller corporate training companies as clients. Um, I want to show this to you because it's important that to make Domoscio's product work, we need um, a number of learners because we want to provide data, but this amount of learners does not have to be a million. It can be 1,000, meaning we can work as well with mid-market and large cap companies. Um, we focus on two main issues with learning. Let's say we have the best content provided by Kevin. We have still two main issues to tackle. The first one is that if we ensure that we have the best content, it's the same question I asked before. Do all the learners need to go through all the content, or should they not start maybe in between and jump this one and get directly to the last one? So basically, we need to optimize the way that they will be, I would say, spread into the content. And the second stake that we need to tackle is the issue of forgetting. As human, and it's, I think, a great point, but sometimes it is a pain and sometimes it is also a risk. We forget what we have learned. And we forget up to 80% of what has been learned during training. It means that the return on learning is sometimes poor, but also that it will create risk on the job. So these two challenges, we tackle them with two main products. Domoscio Hub for the first one, meaning we will tailor, we will personalize learning paths, and Domoscio Lock for the second one, which is about memorization of what we have learned during training. I will present Domoscio Hub and Domoscio Lock to you today as a standalone product, but our vision with Kevin is to incorporate these products into a global environment. And this is our vision that we will present at the end. Domoscio Hub is actually quite easy to understand. It's basically a tool to work to create a skills ontology, to index content for each skill. And based on this authoring tool that you will be using to create this structure of skills and modules, etc., we will be using an adaptive learning technology in order to deploy, to push to the learners the best content at the right time. So how does adaptive learning work? If you can slide next. Adaptive learning work as a loop that will iterate over the learner journey. So basically, we will start understanding where the learner stands in terms of learning at the mastery at the beginning of the journey. We know that the goal is the one that you set. Maybe for 4 skills, he needs to master it as an expert. Well, let's send it like that. But where does he begin his journey? So basically, adaptive learning is understanding where does he begin. Based on where does he begin, we will propose to him some individualized recommendations. So we will tell to Benoit, let's do this specific module next, and then let's see this video, and then let's make this e-learning. So basically, we will tailor the learning plan of Benoit. Benoit, at each point, will spend some time on the resource, will give us feedback, will feed us with data, and that data will help us understanding how Benoit is progressing from A to A prime to A second and towards B. And the idea is to find the most optimized way with the content that you had, or with the content that also Myskillcamp provided you, to make it so that Benoit is learning in an optimized fashion because it is individualized. The strength of Domoccio's product is that we don't depend on a specific technology. It means that we can incorporate adaptive learning capacities with Myskillcamp content into any LMS. So basically, we have some technologies that you will be able to take as a learning activity that will embed the adaptive learning and all the content that you either had on your LMS or that was provided to you by Myskillcamp. And you will take this activity as a whole package that you will set into your LMS. So basically, it is as easy as creating, I would say, a learning module, an e-learning, but you will create it with the Domoscio Hub, or you will let Myskillcamp create it for you, and you will have at the end an activity package that you will be able to just install to drop into your LMS, and you will flow all your users into this adaptive learning experience. On this scheme, what you can see is that basically it is a path, a learning path on which we will give the user some insights of how he's progressing, and we will easily redirect him towards the proper content. That can be either on your LMS, on Myskillcamp platform, or even on the web. If I can maybe just take 5 minutes to show you real in live, I will take the screen sharing and I will show you how it looks in the real life. So you can have any learning experience in any language that you like. In order for this demonstration, I took content in French, but in an English, I would say, user interface. Basically, when you start working with adaptive learning as a learner, someone prepared the customization of the experience. The customization of the experience is, I want my population to be proficient with such skills. And for each skill, I want them to acquire a level X. As soon as this has been done, it's as easy as taking this package as a SCORM package, for instance, and drop it on your LMS. As a learner, I just started, and I will start my journey with the first positioning. So basically, I will start the positioning. I will continue the positioning. I already started, so I will quickly go through the last questions just to show you how it works. So I will answer, give answers to the engine so that it will be able to understand where I will be starting in terms of mastery, so that it will be able to tailor my learning journey afterwards. How does the positioning work? As you might see, I'm just clicking and going through questions really quick. But there is also some intelligence behind the way that we will ask the questions, because each data that will be fed to the engine will enable Domoscio algorithm in order to say, okay, I think that he is not ready yet to have questions that are too difficult. So I will tailor also the positioning experience, taking into account his former results. At the end of the positioning, what's important is that I will have my first current skill on three main skills. So basically, this has been customized before. I'm just subscribed to this experience, meaning I will have to position, to go through recommendation, and to see how fast I'm progressing. There are three skills here. I've done my positioning. So let's start having the recommendations. It's as easy as this. I will go into my experience, and then I see what is my current skill, what's my expected skill that has been customized already, as I explained, and I will simply go through some recommendation that will open some new pages, either on your own LMS or on Myskillcamp content platform. What you can see here on the right of the screen is that the interface is really dynamic, meaning I will go through the recommendation, and as long as I go through the recommendation, there is what we call the theoretical skill that is improving, meaning my current skill goes closer and closer to what is expected from me. So I will have this journey, which is tailored to my need, because where I began and where I just started progressing. And at the end, you will be able to set the fact that the learner will have to position again in order to understand whether his journey has been actually impactful or not, and if the resources that you propose to him in his path is actually impactful for progressing toward the job expectation, for instance. As you can see, it's really easy. And from a learner's perspective, it's just about, okay, I see where I start, I see where I need to go. The further I follow some recommendation, I do content, I do e-learning, I go and see Coursera or Udemy content, well, my theoretical skill go bigger and bigger and closer from the expected skill. And this is just basically adaptive learning. It's using data from the learner experience to propose what's the next best content for Benoit to better progress, in order to make sure that he acquire the skills that I dedicated to his journey.
And Benoit, if I may, it's also
Yeah.
a great opportunity if you want to offer synchronous events, face-to-face or webinars, to also, based on that, positioning assessment, to understand which skill level the learners have at the beginning of the journey, and making sure that if they have to attend a face-to-face or online event, they all have the same level. The people attending the event have the same level, so the content of the event can be customized by the trainer, because they know that the skills level of the people joining are supposed to be the same. that will increase the engagement and also increase the yeah the the engagement, but also the fact that people will feel like it is also be tailored to them. So it's not just e-learning; it could be all sources of content.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe to wrap things about adaptive learning and adaptive learning experiences is that what I'm showing you there is I would say an experience about how to become a leader. And we have been working on the skills ontology and also finding the best content. So that experience is on the shelf. You can use this adaptive learning experience off the shelf. So you can take the becoming a leader goal as it is. You can say, okay, for this specific population, I want them maybe not the expected skill to be the highest, but maybe just in the middle. And then deploy that experience on your LMS or on Myskillcamp platform and have it as easy as just a learning activity, tailoring the learning path of all your learners. So basically, you can use your own skills ontology, your own content, or use Myskillcamp learning support in order to create it for you or with you, or you can take a little of both, working with this tool in order to use your ontology, your skills, your content, the one that are provided by Myskillcamp, and making just as one, having only one entry point for all your learners and being able to have insightful dashboards afterwards. You can use to position your learners either a questionnaire or also some self-assessment, which can be of great use if you are working with soft skills. I will stop sharing and giving you back the hand on the pitch, Kevin, in order to jump to Domoscio lock, which is about memorization. So if you have any question, please write it down in the chat. We will answer it afterwards. So Domoscio lock was about tailoring the learning plan. Domoscio lock is about ensuring that the memorization is properly done after the training. Domoscio lock is also working with an authoring tool that will help you to create some key topics to make sure your learner want to remember and to create and to add some questions to it. What will we do with this content? Well, what we will do is make sure that we will ask the proper question at the right time to your learners. So on the next slide, Kevin, as you can see, the idea of the reinforcement of the ancrage is to use what we call the forgetting curve in order to understand what is the next best date at which we will want the learner to revisit what he learned during training. Each review will be a single question. So that way, Benoit will spend some time in class, for instance, or on a e-learning module. After the learning is done, either the class is over or the e-learning is validated, he will go through a process of repetition. The first reminder will be quite quick just after the training. Benoit will have a question to ask, to answer. He will answer, and that will compute what is the next best due date for this specific topic to be revisited. The more Benoit is answering right to a topic, the further in time will be the next reminder. So Domoscio lock will simply help your learners to make sure that they learn and that they remember what they did during training. Mm-hmm. How do you use Domoscio lock? Well, basically, what's the best way of answering questions some of the times? It's through mobile application. So you can either use your LMS, just as we showed for Domoscio Hub, or your mobile app in order to answer some reviews when they are due, and you will be notified when they are due. That way, we will make sure that your learners remember what they learned during training and are enabled to use it on the job.
Yeah, and Benoit, if I can complete, it's also like we see it a lot right now at Myskillcamp. It's also a great way of reassessing, like making sure that the next year you keep on re-evaluating, helping learners remember. It's great for actually quite lots of people, but sales population, customer success populations, where there's also as well lots of new processes, new products coming in. You always need to be on the move and learn new things. So even though sales teams or CSM population have received a new process by email, they had to read a presentation or they had a 1 hour online training, and you want to make sure that they've learned and transferred that knowledge. You can use Domoscio Lock as a solution.
Yeah. So in the meanwhile, I prepared a sharing for you. So in order to highlight what is Domoscio Lock, I shared my screen. I think you can see what I'm doing. So basically, Domoscio Lock is a mobile app that will generate notifications, push notifications, and display how many questions are to be answered. I will start the application. It will show me how many questions do I have to do like right now. And as you can see, it will also display questions that I will have in future. So basically, I will have one question in 1 day and one question in 3 days from now. So as you can see, the more I will answer, the further in time will be the next question. So just let's go. Questions are still in French. You can use it to create your own or to ask Myskillcamp to create it for you or with you. And you, as easy as that, answer the questions. I will sometimes answer right, answer wrong, but the idea is that it's really easy to me to answer this kind of questions. So this one is quite difficult. And then, as you can see, you have any type of question that you want. At the end of, I would say, a review session, you will have some analytics that will help you understand where you stand in terms of memorization. So for instance, for some of the key topics, the next due date will be, well, really far in time because I already answered it a lot of time. But for some, it's actually quite difficult to answer to it. And each time I try to answer, it's a fail. So it will try again in a few days with the new question. I can see through all the questions that I answered. I can get back and see how well I did. And at the end, I can, of course, get back to my space and see that I am up to date. I have some questions that are planned for later and some for really far in time. So it's a really easy way of having some questions done. And the idea is that based on all this data that the learners will generate, you will have insightful dashboards. So I mentioned it for Domoscio Hub, on which you will be able to see the mastery for each skill based on an individual or collective scope. If we just take the example of Domoscio Lock, what you will be able to have is whether your learners are progressing well, engaged, and what are the amount of activities that you will see on a specific and dedicated experience. So you will be able to have some data about each learner. Where do they stand in terms of correct answers, in terms of medium reinforcement level? And if I go a bit quickly on that, you can also have some dashboards about the engagement, how many are up to date, how many have pending reviews. You will be able to also see for each one of them, are they up to date? Do they have overdue reminders or just reminders set for today? At the end, you will be able also to have some data about how many users are using the mobile app or are using the web experience. You have such dashboards also for Domoscio Hub, and the idea behind these tools are to be able to have in one glance the impact of the learning journey for each student, for each learner. Getting back to maybe a last one slide for me to present and to display what are the key results that you can expect with Domoscio. Four key indicators. First one, if you remember well, with Domoscio Hub, so with the adaptive learning, you will have time optimization. What does it mean? It means that even though you have the best content created by your team or by Myskillcamp team, we will make sure that if there are 10 modules in the training plan, each learner will have a dedicated path, meaning time optimization. It means also that if we make sure that we help your learner better remember what they just learned, we will have a better return on learning. We have 46% more retention using Domoscio Lock than comparing it to a population that had no tool. At the end, it's cost savings because if the learners are better prepared with Domoscio Hub, it means that they are more likely to get the certificate or to be entitled to actually do their work. For instance, when we are working with bank or with really risky business. And last but not least, it's about engagement because as you are proposing a tailored plan and you are working on the after training with notifications, you will have a better engagement. And we have 76% of learners that are still active 3 months after training. That's huge. And those KPIs that we get from our existing clients.
Yeah, thanks, Benoit. Yeah, and we're also looking to add extra KPIs to that slide, especially when right now we're helping companies who have an LMS, have content in their catalog, but yeah, learners are not guided. They don't know where to start. They just go there because yeah, they know they have a specific need, but it doesn't help them being curious and it doesn't guide them at all. So I also am 100% convinced that the Domoscio recommendation engine will really, because it acts as a layer in any LMS, will also help increase the usage of the content the companies purchase. And if you can prove that, yeah, you increase the content usage from 27% to 60, 70, that's great. And we need content to feed the recommendation engine of Domoscio. So that's also great added value. Propose to end up with three last slides. This is what we do as of 3 months ago when we started agreeing with Benoit on the next steps together with Myskillcamp and Domoscio. And we have today three scenarios we can offer on the market. Scenario one is our marketplace, the adaptive learning engine pushed into any LMS. So if you're using whatever LMS, as long as it's COM compliant, we can deliver this adaptive learning experience with our content or without, by the way. Scenario two is you don't have an LMS, you're starting or you have one, you want to switch. Then you will be using the full suite of tools. That's what we will be calling our skills delivery platform. And then scenario three, you might need to stick with your LMS, but you want another front office, you want a better learning experience for your workforce. And so we can integrate with, that's exactly what we do today. We integrate with, SAP, Cornerstone, and other solutions, Moodle as well. And so we can plug to make sure you keep on using your existing LMS. So three scenarios, yeah, that fits exactly what we face today when we go out on the market. And yeah, we have a solution to help you deliver, yeah, more impact. And then the last slide, Benoit, if you want to take this one.
Yeah. So the idea together is, as you understand, there is Myskillcamp platform, there is Domoscio technology, and there is providers of content. The idea is to create a new product with all the three dimensions to make just one, which is dedicated and directed to skills. And the idea is to create the skills delivery platform, which will enter with skills, either jobs or skill sets, and based on the parameter that you will give, based on the skill sets that you will choose, we will create your own adaptive learning experience that will take the best content created by Myskillcamp experts or your L&D department. And with that, we will tailor the plan for each individual inside of the experience.
Thanks, Benoit. And also, I think really powerful for managers, L&D teams is to start having strategic discussions around the table. Skills development is a huge challenge. Reskilling, upskilling, and it all starts with the where are we as a company? Out of my 200 managers, what is their skills gap at the moment? I have no idea. They are asking me to go on a training, management training, leadership. Okay, fine. I assume, or we have a discussion, and I get that it's useful. But yeah, if you really want to make it efficient, having everyone going through an assessment will give you an overview at the beginning of the journey, and then how they progressed. It also guides you and helps you as a company to understand the emerging talents. What are the talents that I have in my company? How are they growing? Where are they going? What's their ambition? And having useful data to pilot, DHR, human resources within a company is more than ever important. And at the moment, sorry, but learning solutions on the market looks like a nice catalog with features, but doesn't really provide greater insights than just simply how many training hours did we do the last month. So we also want to change that reporting mindset, I would say. I'll just end up the vision we have and the why. Also, Myskillcamp and Domoscio is we have the ambition of upskilling 10 million people in the coming, let's say, in the next 8 years. And that's, I think that's a hell of a challenge. But together, we are unstoppable and we can do it. The floor is yours if you have any questions. Thanks for listening, and thanks, Benoit, for your great presentations. You always manage to get my full attention when you present the Domoscio Hub and Lock.
Thank you. And happy to answer any questions. The idea is to give an overview of either Domoscio or Myskillcamp, if you are a client from any one of the two, and to explain you what's the common vision and where do we want to go and how we want to deliver value to you.
Exactly.
Kevin, maybe you can explain a little about the what will happen in September, maybe.
What's
in terms of communication and events?
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, so I was gonna say so much is happening in September. product wise, but also marketing wise, branding wise, everything. But yeah, in September we'll be hosting an event in Brussels with the whole with some of the Myskillcamp Domoscio team, hosted by Nathalie Lambrex. We'll have some great speakers around the table. So it will be mainly a round table around skills. How do we approach skills, skill sets, skills development within a company? So we'll have an event in Brussels, Paris, and also London. And thank you, Alicia or Mathilde, for sharing the. So it's in the chat if you want to register already. So yeah, we're preparing a few events. We're coming to you. We're also, yeah, to discuss, to interact, to show you our progress, because yeah, it will be a transformation. You will see in the product some changes already towards the end of the year. But what is amazing is that you can already start using Domoscio's products within Myskillcamp, as from yesterday. So that already works really great.
Yeah, and if you are a client of Domoscio
Thank you,
already,
François.
either using Hub or Lock, you of course can reach out if you are interested about content that we don't have yet on the platform, and we will make sure that with Myskillcamp and Domoscio, we will create your own experiences. So yeah, I think that the idea of this webinar was to explain about Myskillcamp, about Domoscio, about our common vision, about what comes next in terms of events. It's also to give you a sense of assurance that both companies will merge, will have this common ground, this common vision, this common values, but also that the existing team of Domoscio is keeping on with the adventure, is upgrading into Myskillcamp team as well, but they will be there as well as much as you can need it, and they won't change. So the idea is that the way you are used to work with Domoscio as of today will not change in the coming months. Maybe they will change for the best, because we will take some way of working of Myskillcamp, and we will also learn from the experience that we have with you. But basically, it will evolve, but not too drastically. And the way you are used to work with us, will be there tomorrow as well.
Mm-hmm. Yes, thank you, Benoit. Any extra questions? If not, I propose to end up here. Do not forget to enroll to the Brussels, Paris, or London event. I'm hoping to see you there. All right.
Let's get the call then.
Yeah,
Thank you for
let's
listening.
end up the call. Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody. Have
Bye-bye.
a great day. Bye.